Hello, readers. This is Alexandra Kane. I'd like to thank you for stopping, taking a moment to listen to this recording. This is going to be the first chapter of Darkness Rising, which is the first book in my Phoenix Files paranormal romance series. I hope you enjoy it. Chapter 1. Layla awoke in a pool of cold, sticky blood. Her clothes clung to her like a slimy second skin, the metallic scent invading her nostrils. Corbin, Dale Christopher's thug, lay a few feet away from her, unmoving. His body was covered with claw marks, and a particularly large one traversed his chest beneath the jagged, ripped halves of his dress shirt. I must have shifted. Her head throbbed, and she cursed. If Corbin woke up, he would demand to know how she, a petite black woman, had suddenly been replaced by a ferocious panther. It wasn't a conversation she wanted to have. I'm not a killer, but if I'm here when he wakes up, what choice will I have? Sitting up slowly, she reeled from the crushing pain in her temple. The morning sunlight was streaming through the kitchen window, casting a very clear light on the grisly scene. Her cloudy mind, however, shrouded the events of last night from her memory. She stood, walking slowly around him, and crossed the kitchen to the foyer. As she passed her grandmother's antique mirror, she saw her reflection and was shocked at the sight. Her thick mane of wavy black hair was a tangled mess. Small splatters of dried blood were on her cheeks, and there was a large purple bruise on her forehead. Touching it, she winced. That must be why I can't remember. This was short-term memory loss, because she was fully aware of who she was. Layla Norris, secretary to City Councilwoman Gloria Phillips. She scheduled meetings, took phone calls, and pushed paper for the citizens of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Working in City Hall made her privy to the conversations of other city officials as they passed her desk. Okay, she was eavesdropping, but with her super panther hearing, she really couldn't help it. That was how she knew that Dale Christopher, the assistant city manager, had his hand in the cookie jar. He was involved in several schemes, all of which involved stealing funds from the city's taxpayers. From Layla's conversations with the other assistants working in City Hall, she found out that his corrupt ways were common knowledge among the underlings, as they called themselves. None of them, however, was willing to risk their job by blowing the whistle on Dale. Now, it looked like the politician was resorting to intimidation to keep his dirt swept under the rug. She jogged down the carpeted hallway to her bedroom. I've got to get my stuff and get the hell out of here. Her heavy breathing filled the silence. Around her, she stuffed a few t-shirts and underwear into a large purse. Her mind was jumbled with frantic thoughts of how this situation would play out. What if the neighbors had heard a noise? If somebody called the cops, Layla knew she'd be in trouble. Wild animal attacks in North Carolina were rare. What would she say to them? No doubt they'd throw my black behind in jail like Mama throwing catfish in the deep fryer. No, she wasn't raiding around here. None of the scenarios she could think of ended well for her. Layla was startled by a slow, creaking sound coming from the front of the house. Afraid that someone would discover Corbin, she jogged down the steps and dashed into the kitchen. To her horror, he was gone. Only the pool of blood remained on the ecru linoleum in the place where he had been. Scanning the floor, Layla noticed a few bloody footprints leading to the garage. She produced a heavy metal rolling pin from her tool drawer and slowly followed them out the side door. She descended the 3 stairs into the darkened garage, the rolling pin poised in a swinging position. A hand shot out and grabbed her ankle, pulling her down. Her head hit the concrete floor, and everything was consumed by blackness.